Oh,
cannot time it. All right, Canadian, who are we discussing tonight?
Master Oppo Rancisis. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce his species. I will not pronounce his species because every time I look at it, I will say a very naughty word. So,
okay.
It's like this. Yeah, thespian, I guess.
It's like, yeah, this piece, this piece,
Thespian, this
Thespius is the world, but yeah, it's, you can see where you get a little. You're not careful. Don't do that live on like television or something. You get yourself. All right. Well, hold on. Let's jump into it then.
Find a meme. You don't want to become a meme.
All right, so we're talking about Snake Man Long today. That's what we're calling him, even though it's probably Oppo.
Oppo Rancisis.
Oppo Rancisis. We were just talking beforehand, before we got going, that it's like the most, we always say all the time that, wow, it would be awesome if they would expand on this character. But when you find out that this is a snake man, literally a snake man from a group of snake people who are extremely good fighters and all this stuff, he's also like the oldest bastard and the Jedi people. He's been around since a long time ago, long time ago.
Yeah, High Republic, and he's one of the longest reigning council members, consecutive council member. And on top of that, do you have the video ready or no?
Ooh.
Which video?
The clip or like the okay. So let's say on top of that, the most weird part about his character, well, he was a Jedi at first. His people, he was offered the throne of his planet and the title of Blood Monarch.
That's right.
To which he declined to just be a Jedi still. And if that ain't something else, that's
that's some willpower.
Let me tell you something. If you ever find anybody listening out there, if you ever find a group of people, a whole world of people that want to name you their blood monarch, you say yes, and then you just find out what that means later. You just immediately say yes, I will be your blood monarch, and then hopefully it's not you have to sacrifice all your blood to the gods. Hopefully that ain't it. But other than that, you just say yes to blood monarch. So he's a giant snake man. Before we see a picture of him, before I showed the clip here, if you've never seen him, visualize Snake Man. Okay, stands like I think it was like 3 or 4 feet tall.
He's 4 foot tall.
Yeah, and then but that's the body part because he's got a tail out there sticking out about 20 feet. Okay, and you can barely see his face because he's covered in like an ancient, like kung fu master hair and beard, and 2 little beady eyes are sticking out. It looks absolutely like a teddy bear head. And by the way, he has 4 arms, which he never shows all 4 arms.
Yeah,
he has
that confused me. When I was looking at that character too. When I saw the 4 arms, am I looking at this weird?
Yes, he keeps that there. So when you fight him with the thing, he's like, surprise, bitch! I got 4 arms.
It was like General Grievous existed. He knew how to use.
All right, so let's take a look at him. Here we go. Where does he get? Right here. Oppo Rancisis, born on the world of Thespius to royal parents, was destined to be the heir to the Thespisian blood monarchy. However, at a young age, his force sensitivity was discovered, leading him to join the Jedi Order as the Padawan of Jedi Master Yaddle. Despite being offered the throne of the blood monarch later in life, Oppo chose to remain loyal to the Jedi, dedicating himself to their cause. Oppo possessed distinct physical features. His appearance included white hair, a big bushy beard, blue eyes, and green skin. Notably, he had a unique snake-like body with 4 arms and moved gracefully on a tail reminiscent of serpents. He would go on to serve the Jedi Council during the High Republic era through the Clone Wars. Famous for his wisdom and experience, he stood out as one of the oldest and most respected members of the Council. He was an amazing strategist and military advisor, and even mastered the rare technique of battle meditation. After Order 66, Oppo, one of the few remaining council members, successfully concealed himself, preserving his life. As the Empire's Inquisitors scoured the galaxy in search of surviving Jedi, he remained hidden, defying their efforts to locate him.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. Let's say that you're just a regular clone trooper, right? I mean, you got Inquisitors with you, but they're off in the woods somewhere, kicking the bushes, looking for random snakes in the grass. And you come across a cave, and that last picture of that giant snake man with 4 arms and that face comes bopping out of that thing, I guarantee you quitting on the spot, son. You're not rushing back in there chasing that snake man in there. You can forget that. And he's a Jedi? Get out of here. There's no way.
A nice, wise old Jedi. Slithering through his seat, under and through his seat. I would just maybe like, okay, I'm gonna stand on the other side of this circle. I'm not next to you.
Yeah.
There was a clip, I don't know if you saw it in there, but I added it for both because I just thought it was so funny. I had like a Hoosier moment here.
1 second.
Where he finds something funny and just gets obsessed with it. And it's just random scene where he's off in the back, and I actually had to like move the clip over to the corner just so you can see it better. Where he's sitting there for some reason, it's in the live action. His like tail just flops down for a second and kind of moves. And there's no reason for it. It's like totally distracting off in the right corner. There was no reason for his tail just to flop down. But I thought it was so funny because it's in the live action that they did that I was like, yeah, that's going to go in all the clips. You don't have to force it in between 2 other clips because I just want this little tail to go bloop. It just hangs down. It's such a weird thing that they did.
Creepy, weird.
Lucasfilm does weird things.
And then don't forget, we all forgot to mention his hands. What is going on with these weird gangly hands, nails, thingy-majiggies, early bone? What's going on?
From especially the 03 one, right?
The 03 one's terrifying. It's like the guys with the Guinness World Records for the longest fingernails, where they just keep curling in on themselves.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I was reading that behind the scenes, they made his lightsaber to be like Count Dooku's in a way. It was curved like that. And I was still thinking, even if you thought about your fingers, even being twice as long as they are, but your palm stays the same. So you're not like Shaq with a big giant hand. You have the same small palm, but your fingers are like this much longer. How do you even hold on to the thing without wrapping your fingers inside of it? And then he has nails on top of that. Like, how would you even like? It's like you're running at people like this. Like, that's such a weird thing to do.
So funny. And then he had green and yellow lightsabers at different times of his life.
Yeah, he should have used 2. He had 4 arms.
Which is funny because you think he would have at least 2.
At least.
But
Grievous to run for his money.
Yeah.
And also there was a clip, the Forbidden clip. It was not a moving picture clip. Disney, I just want to say, Disney, you do own all this material. We are only doing this show by your goodwill, and we appreciate you allowing us to use your property for our silly little show here, because I have an anti that particular Clone Wars show, that because I just showed you that they went back and actually banned one of my videos. Luckily, I had already uploaded the video version because that TV show is in it. So there's just a clip, and I talk over it. So hopefully it's fine. Yeah, well, that's interesting. All right, so yeah, obviously this character has hundreds of years that he can have more information about. It seems weird. Well, he's been around forever. I guess snakes live a long time. I was unaware of that.
Well, so what's weird is, so in both Legends and canon, like he was known to be already on the council like hundreds of years before, and like a timeline before. Canon, obviously, they've addressed it as like the High Republic stuff, and him being in both canon and Legends, they kept it as him being Yaddle's apprentice at a young age, which is so weird that like to see him also. So he was apprentice of Yaddle on the council as well at the same time. Just to go show how old he is to be able to do that.
Yeah. Wasn't he like 20 when which was like a toddler, supposedly.
Basically, a toddler.
Kind of like Grogu.
And then
he still had his egg tooth. He just hatched out of his egg, and he was already a Jedi at that point.
Egg. And then the other one is like, so he has mentions that they're adding more to his character, as we'll talk about in the comics, with some upcoming stuff with him, but also in terms of like he's mentioned in by name in the new Star Wars game. I won't spoil anything because Craig here is going through that game still.
Taking my time. I didn't rush through it like the Canadian.
But he's not there. He's not there as a he's just there as a mention. So it's a fun thing.
That's good.
But yeah, so they have
still involved in a lot of things.
He has all the old stuff all the way up till the modern times and then beyond, because they ain't never caught that snake. He's too slippery. They can't catch him.
Thing. Most insane thing about that character to me is that he's in episode 1 and 2, and in Legends he's killed off near the end of the Clone Wars, and we see him die in the comics in a funeral. And in canon, he never died. He slithered out of the purge. He snaked away and lived. And he's actually seen. So in, I don't think I included there was in one of the Vader comics where he.
Let's say Vader comics had his name on the list of people.
When he kills Eth Koth, his name's on the list, and it's in Aurebesh. You'd have to just translate it. Like his name's there as one of the survivors still of Masters, and they never caught him. I don't know they never said how long his species lives for, but presumably if Yoda lived all the way up until, what
was it?
Empire, Empire Return of the Jedi year 4 ABY. He was probably still around for the end of the Empire.
I mean, and if not, and they want to be around, Star Wars will find a way.
Right.
They will always find. Well, there is always a way to bring someone back or make their life extend.
If we see him in live action in like some show or whatever, like with the underground railroad stuff, I'll lose my mind. It was the weirdest thing ever.
Other than that, what's up? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to expand on that. He apparently was pretty amazing, with a lightsaber.
As have been every single Jedi.
Yes, as has every Jedi we've done so far.
But the best duelist. I mean, proves so good of a duelist he was. He only needed one lightsaber for those 4 arms. He didn't need any extra ones. He didn't
need those other 3 for balance.
Balance?
But no, like he's apparently a really good strategist too, and would sit meditating for weeks.
That was his big claim.
Even, right? We'll see in the comics, but just being able to concentrate for that long just seems like really painful.
Yeah, strategic genius. Probably fell asleep during some of those and claimed to be meditating, given how old he was.
He had battle meditation, and according to Knights of the Republic, which I'm also going through, there is a famous character in there that has battle meditation. It basically just like everybody kind of links up, everybody knows where each other is. You get a sense of euphoria, and we can't be beat. And it just sends everyone into like it's almost like everyone's talking to each other at once through the Force. And like I said, and just the euphoria kind of we can't lose. Obviously that inspires the troops. So yes, he was a great tactician, but it was almost like he had the cheat codes on a little bit. Like, you're playing Call of Duty and you can see through the walls where the bad guys are. Like, yes, you're a great tactician, but when you can talk to everybody, like the way she had it, now hers was crazy. I don't know if they're on the same level. She was like a legendary battle meditation, but she could talk to everybody on the ground in space. She could just talk to everybody from great distances away and have everyone going, and you just can't. It's like you get either super lucky or super unlucky depending on what side you're on. So yeah, he had a great tactician, but it's great when you got the cheat code. I could be a great tactician too if I was like a general that could tell my troops where to go at once and make the other guys feel bad about themselves.
To be fair, I don't know if the troops felt it nice with this big snake man lawn, like interrupting their souls and their minds in the middle of combat. Probably they're seeing a vision of his face and scares the shit out of them in the middle of the battle, like shell shocking them.
I just always think it's so great. It shows you how amazing Star Wars, how understanding and open to all people they are. That a giant snake man just walks up to people and they're talking. Nobody goes goo. Like everybody just like, hey, how's it going, boss? Like no one's shocked about a 4-armed snake going up to him and talking with no face, just hair with eyes, beady eyes, hair, and 4 arms and a snake body, and nobody responds. Nobody jerks away or nothing. Kids don't go, Mom, what is that? that. Everyone's just knows those guys are around. I do think that's funny though, because Star Wars, there's a lot of characters, like one of them, or there's two of them. Like even like Yoda. Like Yoda is his species seems pretty rare. So when you have him just like walk around, like literally nobody in the background's going, look at that little bastard walk by. Like no one notices, no one says a word about all these strange characters. There's like one of those species. And everyone's, yeah, it's cool.
So good. Another thing to mention for this one, this is not in universe, but this is like for the character, like the character design. The actor who played him, I'll double check the names, and I obviously am not prepared ever.
That guy better been a friend of Lucas, and it was a prank on him or something, because you want to talk about having the worst character you got picked to play.
Yeah, so the actor who played this character, for episode 1 at least and such, he sat through all that makeup and all that crazy stuff to put the hair and everything on him, right? Wow. He sat there for that scene in the council chambers. He sat there perfectly still. He did not move at all. He had to stay the exact same position, almost kind of like staring like that. The actor who played him, his name is Jerome Blake. He's most known for playing Maz Amata in the movies. We covered before the blue visor Grand Vizier to the Emperor. Same actor, so he definitely got a glow up. I think a lot less having to deal with that character.
So you're him, right? You're that guy. Boom, you're him now. When people ask you were in Star Wars, what did you do? Did your first character go to, I was a snake man, long snake man? Or do you go, I was the advisor to the Emperor? Like, which character do you admit to first?
Right. When you go to conventions and they show like the actor's face of his name and they have the characters in the background, you can tell that character's in like tiny print in the corner.
He's a slithering Muppet.
Slithering Muppet. I was the slithering Muppet in Phantom Menace. Yaddle? Yoda? No. They're the guy.
But all joking aside, like this is a pretty crazy, weird character that I think could have. But to me, it's one of those things that when Disney does it, they have to be careful. It was kind of like the Ezra problem that I saw whenever we talked about Rebels in the past. If you make him that awesome where he can do everything, then his name should have been mentioned at some point before now. Like it doesn't make sense. Yeah. So when you have this character who's lived hundreds and hundreds of years, and if he has these adventures where he's the main guy and he's a badass, when episode 1 happens and the Jedi just go say, hey, baby, go get in the corner. We'll let you know when we need you. It's going to make the Jedi look even worse if they ignored everything he said if he's been a badass for 600 years.
Yeah, sorry. That was one thing Craig was bringing up. We couldn't get the confirmation. I'm pretty sure we'd have to look at the novelization of episode 1 for it. But during the scene where they're talking about Anakin and whether or not they should train him, Oppo was one of the main proponents of saying, no, let's not train this kid. We're not taking him in. He was one of the main people to say it.
And he's only been around.
We don't know 100%. Couldn't get the confirmation exactly where, but it's probably the novelization, so we'd have to take a look at that.
So you got Yoda, probably Yaddle, I would imagine, and now the Snake Man 1000. The oldest, most respected members of the thing was like, hey, we shouldn't do this. I believe that Purple Lightsaber himself also was like, I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah. And who said yes then? Because so far, all I've ever heard was
Qui-Gon's dying wish. That's what it was.
Wow. Everybody who had the wisdom was like, no. And they're like, yeah, screw it. Full send. We're going in out anyway. Just do it. Everybody's like, I got a bad feeling. You don't feel that in the Force? It's not a good idea.
You probably had to meditate really long after hearing the news that he was added there. He's been like, I'm going to need a month to process this news.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he was in one of his month-long meditation things. So when the troopers went by, they just assumed it was some kind of weird stuffed animal or an ugly statue or something. They're like, what the hell is that thing? And they're like, I got no idea. And they just
shed his skin. He just shed his skin. That's the
Oh yeah, by the way, he does shed his skin, by the way. In Legends at least he shed the skin. So just put that out there for you real quick.
I did read that.
God damn it! What a creep! We're a weird character.
Horrifying.
He was busy, so he probably didn't okay everything, but he probably did. There was a session where he had like a salad in front of him, and they were just showing him characters. He was laughing his ass off in some of these. Daddy look was like a snake dude with four arms.
More hair. I think he said more hair on that guy.
Be better. He has got really long hair. Yeah, like a kung fu master. What if his face was just like a teddy bear? Let's just cover his face completely where all you see is his eyes. That'd be amazing. Like send it.
Looks like Dr. Seuss.
But all right, as far as that goes, as far as canon goes, that's it. He was only about 30 seconds in the movies, about 38 seconds in the Clone Wars. Like you can download or you can go look of every scene he's in. It's not a very long video, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
The scenes he goes by though are disturbing because they like to show sometimes his big snake body unwrapping from his chair as he walks. He doesn't walk as he slithers away.
How slimy is his chair? You think it must be like gross?
Well, snakes aren't slimy; they're dry, so he's fine. No, how many snake scales are all over his chair? Is the question you should be asking yourself. Like,
do you wait for him to leave the room first? Or do you leave before him? Do you say I'm not waiting?
I have no idea. But it's like a really bad case of dandruff. They got to brush off that seat every time for all the snake scales.
What was it, Kachun, you said?
He doesn't sit in a chair. It's just got like something that he rests into.
Yeah.
He wraps his body around like a stick looking thing as his chair.
Oh, God.
All right, so should we go straight into the comic books then?
Yep, that'll cover the rest.
Let's do it. Let's go straight into the comic books. Let's
As you can
more
tell,
about
his
him.
best art is from the comics.
Yeah, most of the images I found were.
There you go. That's a great show right there. He's strangling some poor bastard over here in the corner. And are these Jedi? I haven't read this comic.
There's some dark Jedi kind of things.
Oh, okay.
This is the one where he dies. This is from.
The hell he does. Don't you dare put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. He does not die. That son of a gun is still living in a cave somewhere. Eating on the children of the closed up village.
In terms of appearances, so he first appears in The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones as well. He is on the council in episode 3, but he's not seen there, which is fun somehow. Anyways, the Clone Wars 2003 shows up in chapter 21 and that terrifying Guinness World Records hand. And then the Clone Wars 2008 he appears in 3 episodes: The Disappeared, Lost Ones, and Voices, all in season 6 of the Clone Wars. Okay. Took him 6 seasons for them to bring him in there.
Wow. Let me tell you something, and don't you dare blink. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And
don't blink again. Legends, he actually has quite a lot of comic appearances, which is hilarious. And a lot of them are.
Hold on. You're a comic book artist, right? And you got task, Dark Horse, Star Wars, right? And they're like, hey, come up with the characters. Then you look over, and at some point you see that there's a damn snake man with 4 arms and long hair. That dude would be in every single comic book I did. It could be a comic book about bounty hunting in a different planet, and somewhere in the corner he's having a glass of tea or something. I'm putting him in every single comic book I did back in the day if I was an artist.
God, yeah. So he first appears in issue 13 of Star Wars. Appears in a couple of issues there, and then as well as a bunch of random one-shots like the Jedi Council stuff. That's and Qui-Gon. A lot of it ends up being him just there, part of the council, or just kind of around as we know him in movies. In the Republic comics, he shows up again doing some similar stuff, but his main thing is issues 73 to 75. Or issue 73 to 76 is his story arc in the Republic issues where he's dealing with Quinlan Voss. Issue 75 is his first cover appearance and the death of him in Legends. Wow. While issue 76 is his funeral. He actually gets a whole funeral.
First cover was at the end.
Yep, very near the end of the thing too.
But so that's not even canon though, right? None of those are canon?
Those are all Legends. Those are all non-canon.
You trying to get me over to hit my spec button? I ain't hitting it. I ain't gonna fall for it.
In the Legends, you see there on the middle left panel, he's there in between Evan and Adiola. Yep. He's not very snaky there. Don't see the bottom of him.
Yeah.
He's trying to hide it.
This is him during the Aayla Secura being knighted and moved up in the ranks.
Okay.
Now, you can definitely clarify this as an over-the-shoulder cameo in the bottom right there.
Yeah.
That's what's funny? Over-the-shoulder.
If you didn't know he was a snake guy, you would look for the guy with all the bushy hair. And you don't know there's a surprise underneath that cloak. He's got a surprise for you if you look underneath this cloak.
So he appears in the Jedi Council Acts of War miniseries, mostly there. After he starts making some kind of impact, like actually talking in the storylines, not just being there, but not a lot of it to mention directly.
Okay.
So this is this terrifying image on there. So this is basically when Quinlan Vos is doing this insane quadruple agent maneuver where like the Jedi hired him to be a double agent against Dooku, and then Dooku's like, you're my double agent against the Jedi, and now he is a triple agent against both. It's insane. Anyways, so Oppo Rancisis is basically talking to Quinlan, humanizing him, and giving him like great sage advice. This is all leading into the story arc with him and Quinlan together.
That Dark Horse one was real good, man.
The Republic series, once they took over as a Republic title, the art just gorgeous.
Yeah.
When I'm fighting for my humanity and I'm in a dark place and I don't know what I want, nothing will bring me back to my humanity than a giant 4-foot snake who has long hair and these nasty ass fingers. I don't want him touching me. He's like, yeah, that's cool, bro, but we're not.
That's why Obi-Wan has his hands tucked in his sleeves. He doesn't want anywhere near that right there.
He goes in for the fist bump, and I go, like, I gotta say no for me, bro. I can't fist bump you. That's just not happening.
So this is his first cover appearance on the left, fighting like a fallen Jedi.
No.
And then on the right, so he's meditating in a chamber in a cave like this, and he gets sneak attacked by these guys, and he's like, a terrible mistake you made, and he like, starts attacking them. So they're not dark, so they aren't dark Jedi, they're just like the mercenaries. The dark Jedi is who they're working with.
I hope then they were sent after this guy. They were like, look, it's just a random Jedi. He's super old. He's probably not gonna be able to move very fast. I hope they weren't explained to who he was. And those mercenaries like, yeah, cool, man. Make sure the gold's in my account. I'll take care of your problem by tomorrow. Like, I hope that, because they went to dark cave. That's just waiting for something bad to happen.
God. And then following that fight with them all, he's like, one tries to sneak attacking him. He whacks him with his tail. And he's like, I thought you guys were supposed to be stealthy and whatnot. And then the Weequay Dark Jedi there stabs him from behind and kills him.
Let me tell you why I'm glad this isn't the true story. Because if you've been around for that freaking long and you fall for the okie doke, like, hey, yeah, what's going on? Thought you guys were awesome. And then that one guy is stabbing you in the back. I hope you didn't fall for that, but you were able to survive for hundreds and hundreds of years. But that's cool, though.
Yeah. And then issue 76, they find the Aayla, Quinlan, and some of the other Jedi find his body, realize he's dead. He wasn't. They found him dead. He didn't get a chance to even say a final word.
So I wonder if they thought, is he dead or is he just in one of his super, super duper long meditation things?
I think the big hole in his chest probably gave it away. And then they have a funeral there where they all talk about talk about him for a second and say their piece. They were all witness to him. In a knot?
What's happening there?
Huh? That's the fire.
Oh, all right.
I do wonder how you would because they wrap them bound them like almost like a mummy. How would you do him? Right? Would you wrap the tail around him like a coil, or would you just straighten them out?
He just cut the tail off and then put it on his chest and wrap it all together like that. I would think that'd be the best way to wrap that package up. You got to know how to.
Jesus Christ, just cut his tail. Now, in opposite to that, comic appearances, he has 4. He, again, Mace Windu. First canon appearance.
Like 5 people watch these videos, but if you have not, and you've had the opportunity to buy Mace Windu #1, you're not doing something right, because this damn comic appears on like every other show.
Yeah. And
Same
then
with
following
Darth
that,
Vader one, right?
and I was saying
Yes.
the other one that appears quite often is that Darth Vader right there, number 26. Yoda 7 and Vader 26. They're both flashbacks, seeing him in the council. Now, the most interesting one here, which we'll talk more about when you see it, is the High Republic Shadows of Starlight.
I don't even recognize this comic.
It hasn't come out yet. And
okay. I was like, I don't even recognize
when you
this.
see the cover, it's a really cool cover, and I'll talk more about what that's supposed to be going forward. Yeah. So there's the Mace Windu. Can you find him? He is there for obvious reasons, but
he's in the council somewhere.
Are we seeing the back of him right there? Is that him?
Yeah, that top left panel, that's him on the bottom left with the hair.
You're pushing it right there to get that as an appearance right there. I'm gonna be honest with you.
The funny thing is, technically, that is him 100%. There is people where you can't tell. That one you can tell. That hair.
No, I mean that's him, but I'm just saying, as his first appearance, you would think it'd be a little bit more than that. I mean, what is that Venom thing? Where like Venom like jumps out of the closet or jumps under a door, and they're like, "Yeah, that's not his first appearance. It's the next one." Like it's a full ass panel of him talking, and they're like, "Yeah, that's not his first appearance. It's the next one."
Well, with the canon comics and these weird ass characters, we don't take no substitutions. We take what we get. We got like 50 comics of him in Legends, so if I can, then we gotta take the one. So again, just pictures of him on the council, a flashback just in the background. Showed the covers to these two. The Yoda one actually was pretty recent that came out as well.
Both those are pretty cool covers, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Now for the fun one. This is the entire...
this is a must buy. You have to buy this, right? Look at all these freaking Jedi on here.
This is actually some first appearance covers from Return of the Jedi. So in that cover there, a couple of note is obviously Yoda at the front, Yarl Poof, a long neck guy in the back right corner. And then obviously our snake guy is to the right of Yoda, looking a little younger.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a mini series featuring the council specifically doing some kind of job, I believe, or some task. But yeah, so he's going to feature in that. So he will actually, going into this mini series, he will have more appearances and be more of a character.
Nice.
So there is some, as we talk about, they could do more with these characters. They are doing something with this character.
Yeah.
Going forward.
By the way, just on a side note, I hate when I see purple lightsabers. Like, I get it, but come on. Like,
just one.
It's just, there's one purple lightsaber, man. That's all I'm going to say to that. I can guarantee you that I do not own one of his figures.
I can guarantee you he has one. That's it.
Oh, okay.
And it's disgusting. So it's the Saga set.
Oh my God, I'm going to have to buy this. That is the greatest thing I have ever seen.
The fingers, look at that.
How expensive is this going to be?
Well, so we talked about this with Evan Peel before. That's the Saga set. And yeah, so he's there. That's his only toy. He has no Lego figure. He has no mention of anything else. Nada. Not a single thing anywhere. This is the only plastic piece of him you can get.
When you showed Evan on this earlier, like the last time we saw this, we didn't even
acknowledge him there, which is hilarious for the fact that, like, look at this guy.
Yeah.
I know you're on eBay right now looking, so.
Is he sitting on a chair there?
Well, he's wrapped around the chair.
Funny thing, how does that work? Because if you look at how he is the toy with the tail coiled like that. If you look at it with the seat, I don't know if that tail is like opposable, like you could just move it around or anything.
It looks like it, yeah.
Well, that would be.
It looks like it can be
weird.
Can I just point this out real quick? Let's just take it to this thing here. Somebody has
my God.
A signed photo. Look at those fingers.
I didn't even found that image anywhere online to even like reference for something.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's only one for selling Macari, and it's $75. So we're gonna have to.
Woo!
We're gonna have to wait on that one and see if we can find it cheaper somewhere else.
You should just message and be like, listen, no one else is gonna buy this. This is the only one. God, what a weird toy.
Why is it doing that now?
But that's all that would be for him. Obviously, he has nothing else in terms of toys. Will we see a Lego figure? I have no idea how you would do it. Will we see any more toys? 100% no.
100% no, you say?
I don't think they would ever dare make that kind of guy again into a toy. If they do, but I'll eat my words. If they do make him a Black Series, I will buy it.
Here's the thing about that. As somebody who is the toy collector a little bit more so than maybe some of you guys, right now in the toy world, the major complaint that people have is you don't get characters like him because that's a one-off guy. That means they're going to have to make an entire mold just for this guy, and they can never reuse it again. You can't use that body. You can't use that chest. You can't use that head. And so they just don't make those kind of commitments anymore. There was a video I watched. Shout out to this guy. If I could think of it, I'll put it in the link. There's a video I watched where it says all the characters that we have never got again in the Force Unleashed or whatever it is, Force toy line. Yeah. And it's just like basically all the aliens, all the people in all the Jabba Palace and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of characters like this. And it's simply being because they're so weird and so random, you can't redo them anymore. And they just don't make those kind of commitments anymore usually. They usually want to get the most out of their molds, right? There's a lot of money that goes into making those molds. They want to get the most out of it. So it would be surprising if they made this because that's definitely a one-off character. And but you never know. Not sure what just happened to the Australian, but
I think he's going to step away for a minute.
Oh, okay.
But I was gonna ask cosplay yay or nay for him, but I can presume it'll be a hissing nay. Probably
that would be that should be a forceful cosplay. He should be forced to be this guy.
I mean, I was just looking at his hair right in that toy. It looks like those classic mops. You know those mops you would get like.
It does, yeah. It actually does.
Just get one of those from the store and just wear that over your head.
Well, all right. So that is Oppo Rancisis, the greatest Jedi ever to live, at least from the snake people. Long snake man.